Hey everyone, I know it's been a long time and I hope this microphone is okay. Um, but I just wanted to put out a YouTube video because I haven't made one in a little while. I just created this for a customer and I thought others would like to see it. One thing that we're currently thinking about in Growth Engine X right now is how can we leverage GPT-4o mini cost decreasing and how can we start using more AI in our campaigns? And so we had one customer where they said, you know what, the best thing that we've ever found that manually works for our outbound campaigns is we find a case study mentioned on their site and then we pull it in to the outreach copy. And then they also really like to look for any media mentions. So if the company has ever been featured in anything, and they said, we've never been able to automate this before. And so if you've been a follower of this YouTube channel for a little while, you know that I've already made a video on how you can find case studies, but I just rebuilt this prompt and I'm going to show you how much more specific it is. It is finding amazing information and it is just so ridiculously cheap. It's like 0.001 for finding the information and it's really, really, really great information. So our ultimate goal here is we want to be able to first look to see if they've been featured in any articles because they actually said that was more important than the case study. Two, can we find any case studies? And these are for local businesses. They're not SaaS companies or anything else. So they're just looking for those kind of case studies. And then three, can we just find something notable about their company and put that into the email as well? And I'm even going to edit the prompt because I just had another idea as well too. So this is what the prompt just looks like. And so I'm just saying, visit the website of the company. In my input, I want you to do as much research on them as you can until you find sufficient data about their company. This is the website I want you to look at, blah, blah, blah. I want you to check for multiple items in order of importance. So first, we're looking for the media sources. And so again, this still follows my framework for AI prompting anything. We just don't have the examples. So again, if you haven't been a follower of this YouTube channel, to AI prompt for anything, in my opinion, you need to generally tell it what you want it to do. You need to give it data to reference from. You need to give it examples of what to look up. And then you need to give it examples of, no, you need to refine. I'm sorry, I got to restart that. One, you have to tell it generally what it's doing. Two, you have to give it data for it to reference. Three, you have to refine it even more of by giving it better directions of what to do. And then four, you give it examples. And so here I'm saying, this is what I want you to do. We're not going to give them anything to reference because the website is right there. I want to know of any featured in any cool articles already, the way I do this. And so here we're giving it the example. The way I do this already is when I'm looking at a site is by reviewing the content of the site for any mentions of as seen on or featured, blah, blah, blah. Any kinds of keywords like this. And I even say this might not be true for everyone, but try to do your best. Then for looking at their website, find a case study and all of these different things. Now I'm actually going to make this number 4 because another thing that popped in my mind is I made this list mainly for architects in here, but this company, they are targeting all kinds of local businesses. And so it's going to be more than just architects. And so another idea that we can throw into this agent is to find in particular keywords or names of products of things that they actually sell. And so if you're interested in seeing the way that I come up with these prompts, I'll just go over this right now. You can skip this part if you don't care. So basically, I would love if we accidentally start reaching out to a restaurant, which that wouldn't happen in this campaign, but a restaurant might not have case studies and they might not have mentions of news, but I would love to be able to inject into the email copy some of the items that they sell or something like that. So another thing that you can research for is the particular kind of products, items, or services that a company sells. So now I'm telling it generally what I want it to do. It already knows to reference the other stuff. So I'm going to say, if I were to do this manually, I'd be reviewing the site for exact keywords and specifications of what this company actually sells. Now I'm going to give it some examples, but since these examples are going to be baked into our prompt and we can't move it around, I'm going to preemptively tell it, hey, these examples have nothing to do with the input. They're just examples for you to learn from. So I'm going to say exactly that. For example, here are some situations of research that you can do that has nothing to do with the input. They are just purely examples and should not sway your output for any reason other than formatting and understanding what I want you to do. If the website in the input is a retail company, I'd love to know the names of the products specifically listed on their site. If the website is a service company, I'd love to know the specific names of their service packages and possibly their pricing. If the website is a restaurant, I'd love to know the name of food on the menu. Do not limit yourself by thinking that these are the only possible inputs. There will be a variety of inputs given to you. These are purely examples. A good way for you to think about this, and this is a good prompting piece of advice, good way for you to think about the output I'm looking for here is pretend to be 3 separate people. Each of you are looking for something in particular about what the company sells. Have a conversation with each other about what is the most specific thing and the most detailed thing that we can add to our output, and output that so that the person we are, the company that we are researching is impressed by our outreach. Cool. And so now a couple things here. One, this might be really long and you might think, wow, this is so expensive. I promise you, it's really not going to be that expensive when it all shakes out. Two, I really love using this prompt. I don't know. It just gives me really great results when I use it, of telling it to be 3 separate people and then have a conversation. I don't know why. It just works really well. And sometimes I'll even use this as a system prompt, and I'll even identify what person 1 is looking for, what person 2 is looking for, and what person 3 is looking for. And then I'll give it a roadmap of how to make the decision between all 3 of the people. And this just works really, really well. So in Claygent, you can't have a system prompt, but sometimes we'll use this when we're doing really complex stuff in the regular ChatGPT integration. And here I could even define it to say, like, this is what this one's particularly looking for, and this one is what this is particularly looking for, but we won't get into that too much. So let's just keep going with the prompt. Generally, I'm just saying, if you can't find any of this, just find something noteworthy about the company. I just wanted to just come back with some research about the company. Then this is where I get into just begging the AI after this. And so I'm just saying, do your best to complete the tasks above, take as much time as you need to accomplish them, and don't rush. Everyone online, they don't make fun of me, but everybody makes a comment about how I always say, please do your best to complete this task because my job is dependent on this. I see this improve results, so I add it in all the time. Another thing you want to make sure is that you're always getting the information from the website in the input. And so I tell it the source of your information must come from the website in the input, nowhere else, because sometimes it'll go off and do crazy stuff. So anyway, let's run this again and see how it changes our response. And I wish I saved some of these. So we can read these while this is going. So see how it found its awards. It found where they're mentioned. So this was already working extremely, extremely well, right? And then we'll grab this one as well too. And so then see how it already found its awards and things like that. Now let's see if this changed it anyway. Ooh, interesting. It actually made it worse. All right, we got the past projects, so that's really good. This is really good. Okay, great. So what's interesting is this one used to be really good. Okay, this is really good. What's interesting is that used to be really, really detailed, and it's interesting. I'm just going to add a little bit in here, and I'm just going to say um, output, create an output with as much detail as possible, and don't be afraid to give as much information as you can, as long as you are 100% confident that it is true. Cool. So let's see what it did here. Oh, so this time it got the awards. So that's interesting. That's very, very, very interesting that this time it got the awards and before it didn't. So we'll just reset it. And so I don't even know what to title this video because I first wanted to just show you a general way that you could use Claygent to find this stuff. And then we kind of went into a prompting thing. But let's see. Cool. Very nice. And so then if we check, for instance, if we check Dartner, I know my tab is only being recorded over here, but Dartner has all of this information on their web. I'm just verifying for you that I'm checking the website and it's true, but I know it's only recording this tab. But anyway, I hope this was useful. I know I haven't posted a video in a little while, but I hope some of you get use out of it. And thanks for watching the video.